Good morning. Good morning. How are you doing? TGIF. We made it. It's Friday. It is Friday, March the 15th. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK, and on Fridays we have Freeform Friday, and looking at the new releases being set into the wild this week, we look at things that catch our attention and some more cozy mysteries because there's always a lot of those. Hope you had a good night. And do you have things planned for the weekend? It is St. Patrick's Day weekend, which St. Patrick's is my favorite holiday. I've always loved things Ireland, though I'm half Norwegian, but it's always had my heart. And so I appreciate this holiday. I don't go out drinking or anything like that. Kim said, good morning. Good morning, Kim. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning. Thank you guys for being here. Let us take a look at things. Let's see. First thing we'll look at, just a quick update. Let me get rid of this banner. Yeah, why do we always have those sunspots during my show? There are parades. Oh, that's right, here this weekend, but it's supposed to rain. Too old to stand the rain now. Too smart. You're too smart. Came no plans, just lunch today with friends since I was 60. Oh, that is very nice. That'll be great. Apologize for that. We must have had some little internet interference. Got rid of the banner. We'll do a quick update on what I'm reading this weekend, and then we'll jump in. I started Happily Never After. That's a romance that we saw on Wednesday that caught my attention. It's by Lynn Painter. It's about professional wedding objectors, which is kind of fun. I'm 35% into the Antique Hunter's Guide to Murder. I am liking it, but there's things I also don't like, I guess, but I'm sticking with it. It's told mostly in first person, but every once in a while there's chapters from somebody else's perspective, different people, and it throws you off, I think is what is. But I like the topic. It's set in the UK, antiques, and every once in a while they'll mention specific antiques and I have to look up, okay, what does that look like, right? One of the things was the Martin Brothers birds, which can fetch up to 50,000 pounds, up to 100,000 pounds. I looked it up, and they're ugly. So of course they're worth a lot of money. If you watch Antique Roadshow, the most ugly things are worth the most. It's just a pattern. I'm also still reading Network Effect by Martha Wells and Once Persuaded, Twice Shy by Melody Edwards. We also came across this on a Wednesday, maybe a couple weeks ago. This is a retelling of Persuasion. All right. And we're off. Good morning, Mary. You made it. You're going to have to take a nap. No, we can't take a nap. We have to go watch Rosanna at 8. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hoping to finish Malice in the Palace today. Oh, lovely. Mary, how did your friends at the library go yesterday? Did you bring anything home, or did any books follow you home and like a stray, you just had to keep it? Can we keep it, please? About to Die by Beth Hamer Miles. First in the Cousins Cozy Mysteries. Comes a hilarious take on the worst year of your life. It's March 2020. Oh, I don't want to deal with this. It's about shutdowns and stuff. Sorry, lived it. I don't want to read about it. There is an author I really like, Ellie Griffiths, and her Ruth Galloway series. But like the last at least two books have been dealing with that time period and being real about it. And I don't want to read it ever at this point. I just don't. A Dublin Student Doctor, an Irish country novel. I brought this up because it was up coming out this week and it's listed as a historical and it's Irish by Patrick Taylor. Dr. Fingal O'Reilly, the quarrelsome general practitioner of the small village of Ballybucklebow, wasn't always the man he is today. Beloved author Patrick Taylor turns back the clock to give us a portrait of the young Fingal. In the 1930s, fresh from a stint in the Royal Navy Reserve and against the wishes of his disapproving father, Fingal O'Reilly arrives in Dublin to study medicine. The hours he dedicates to Trinity College and Sir Patrick Dunn's Hospital are long and arduous, but Fingal managed to find time to box and play rugby and to romance a fetching gray-eyed nurse named Kitty O'Halloran. Dublin is a harsh city where brutal poverty breeds diseases that the limited medical knowledge of the time is often ill-equipped to handle. His teachers warn Fingal not to become too attached to his patients, but can he truly harden himself to the suffering he sees all around him? Or can he find a way to care for his patients without breaking his own heart? And then I pulled up another historical that was catching my attention. You know, I like the historicals. I did find a book and I didn't resist. Good job. A cookbook on tapas. Let me try something. Oh, I bet it has really nice pictures too. Mary says he's a good author, if I remember right. He has a whole series in very Irish settings. Might be the thing to read this weekend. Kim, I agree. I'm not interested in reading about that time period. You know, it was stupid and I don't want to read it. I don't read about that time period. Very difficult time for me. Yeah, I just don't. I just don't. Becoming Madam's Secretary by Stephanie Dray. She took on Titans, battled generals, and changed the world as we know it. About American heroine Frances Perkins. Raised on tales of her revolutionary ancestors, Frances Perkins arrives in New York City at the turn of the century, armed with her trusty parasol and an unwielding determination to make a difference. When she's not working with children in the crowded tenements in Hell's Kitchen, Frances throws herself into the social scene in Greenwich Village, befriending an eclectic group of politicians, artists, and activists, including the millionaire socialite Mary Harriman Rumsey, the flirtatious budding author Sinclair Lewis, and the brilliant but troubled reformer Paul Wilson, with whom she falls deeply in love. But when Frances meets a young lawyer named Franklin Delano Roosevelt at a tea dance, sparks fly in all the wrong directions. She thinks he's a rich, arrogant dilettante who gets by on a handsome face and a famous name. He thinks she's a priggish bluestocking and insufferable do-gooder. Neither knows it yet, but over the next 20 years they will form a historic partnership that will carry them both to the White House. Let's see what else might catch our attention. These are nice. I like that one so much it showed up 3 times. If the boot fits, we did that one. That one's a re-release. Time Slip. Now you've got my attention. In the Shadow of Greenbrier. That's a very pretty cover. 4 generations, one remarkable hotel, countless secrets. Nestled in the hills of West Virginia lies White Sulphur Springs, home to the Greenbrier Resort. Long a playground for presidents and film stars, the Greenbrier has its own gravitational pull. Over 10 decades, 4 generations of the Zellner family must grapple with their place in its shadow and within their own family. In 1942, young mother Sylvia is desperate to escape her stifling marriage, especially when it means co-running Zellner's general store with her husband. When the Greenbrier is commandeered for use as a luxury prison, Sylvia finds her fidelity strained and her heart on the line. 17 years later, Sylvia's daughter Dory struggles to fit in, eagerly awaiting the day she'll leave for college and meet a nice Jewish boy. But when a handsome stranger comes to town and her brother Alan's curiosity puts him and Sylvia at risk, Dory is torn between loyalty and desire. An immersive family saga, rich in historical detail. Counselors in Paradise, Lady Codebreaker. Double check. Yep. By Katie Alden. Fans of Kate Quinn, love, and Christina McMorris will love this gripping historical novel based on the true story of the woman who used her code-breaking skills to bring down Prohibition gangsters and World War II Nazis, who ultimately helped found the present-day NSA. Grace Smith has never been one to conform to society's expectations. She flees small-town Indiana to seek adventure and finds more than she bargained for when she's hired by an eccentric millionaire to learn code breaking. Soon she's using those skills to help head the government's fledgling crypto-analysis unit. During Prohibition, Grace takes up the fight against rum runners, not to mention Al Capone himself. And as the country careens from one great war to another, it's Grace who must crack the secrets of foreign governments, catch spies, and derail saboteurs before it's too late. With wry wit and sheer grit, she forges her own path as a codebreaker, wife, mother. She's spent a lifetime going up against powerful men and winning. But as war rages and the stakes grow impossibly high, Grace faces a truly impossible choice: her family or her country. Interesting. Uh, Another historical. It looks like it's going to tear your heart out. Such a lovely family. Sylvia's second act. I'll take a look at these three. Once We Were Home. Hang on a second. When did that come out? 2003. Never mind. It had a depressing cover anyway. I can't wait to get the new Molly Murphy book. 7th in line with 5 copies. Awesome. You will get that very soon. I auto buy that for my mom. This is One Moment by Becky Hunter. The heart-wrenching read about friendship, love, and loss tells the story of a woman grieving the death of her best friend and learning to embrace a future she never imagined. Perfect for fans of Rebecca Searle and Josie Silver. I've read Josie Silver. I don't know about Rebecca Searle. One moment in time can change everything. The day Scarlett dies, excuse me, her hopes and dreams for the future die with her, or so she thinks. Because she's still here, wherever here is, watching the ripple effect of her death, it's from her perspective, on the lives of those she loved the most. She'll do anything to go back and join the living, especially Evie, her best friend, who needs her now more than ever. Scarlett and Evie had been inseparable since they were 10 years old. Now Evie can't imagine life without Scarlett, and she certainly doesn't want to forgive Nate, the man she blames for her best friend's death, simply because she needs to hold someone accountable. Yet Nate keeps showing up in her life, so charming and outgoing, just like Scarlett, when all Evie wants is to retreat from the world. But Evie's not alone. Scarlett is still by her side, even as she wrestles with the choices that led to the fateful day. Knowing what she knows now and seeing Evie bravely embrace a future without her, would Scarlett go back and alter the events that changed their lives forever? Interesting. It also says for fans of Jojo Moyes. Interesting. Has possibilities, actually. Better than I thought. Sylvia's Second Act by Hilary Yablon. Her husband's cheating on her. She hates Boca. Sylvia is mad and she isn't going to take it anymore. She's moving back north to the city of her dreams with her best friend Evie. What is it with friend's name Evie? In tow. Think a screwball comedy featuring a sophisticated Thelma and Louise with martinis in hand. All right. When 63-year-old Sylvia finds her husband in bed, 63, with the floozy of their Boca retirement community, she's shocked and furious. I have heard things about retirement communities, so just saying. At first, by the time her head stops spinning, Sylvia realizes that actually this isn't what she wants anymore anyway. So she enlists her best friend, the glamorous older widow Evie, to join her in setting up a new life in Manhattan. Sylvia's ex-husband may have lost her life savings, but Sylvia and Evie are scrappy and determined, unopposed to pawning jewelry and roughing it in tiny apartments. And before long, Sylvia signs on to revive her decades-old wedding planning business with a former professional rival. Sylvia has a lot to prove, and beneath it all, she can't help but wonder, will she ever be able to get back into the dating game? Sylvia doesn't want to be 25 or 30 again. Her age gives her wisdom, experience, and perspective. A career, sex, fun, and new romance. Her entire second act is stretched out in front of her, belonging to her. It's her time, and watch out, world. Sylvia is coming. That sounds wonderful. Aren't you glad for Freeform Friday? Cool. A truck just went by here, and it's bedlam. Have to warn Mom at the top of our lungs. Mom! Invasion! The accidental medium. Oh yeah, this was going to catch my attention. The botanist tracks. I think we're having a historical theme today. And it's Freeform Friday, so we can do it. Let's check the date though. Yep, we're good. The Botanist Tracks by Michael Riot. Felicia Hodak's vital botanical skills are the only thing keeping her away from the gas chambers. Oh dear. Against the backdrop of Auschwitz-Birkenau's ever-present brutality, Felicia tends to the plants needed for one of the Reich's most ambitious experiments, one that could tip the war in favor of the Nazis. When Sabina Kupka discovers the horrifying nature of her father's job at a coal mine run by Nazis, she agrees to work with an increasingly defiant resistance. What starts small but significant soon propels her into a frontline role, dangerous enough to cost her her life if caught. Soon both women are engaged in a daring plan to arm the prisoners of Auschwitz-Birkenau. The Botanist Tracks is the third installment in the Beyond the Tracks series and takes readers to the Nazi agricultural camp of Rashko, a 10-minute ride from Auschwitz-Birkenau. Based on actual events, this is the first ever book set primarily at Rashko and shows the incredible ingenuity of prisoners in finding ways to rise against impossible odds. Wow, we're getting some powerful books today. The Drinker of Horizons. Sands of the Emperor 3 by Mia Couto. Long listed for the 2024 Dublin Literary Award. Very cool. Brings the epic love story between a young Mozambican woman named Imani and the Portuguese sergeant Germano de Melo to its moving close. We resume where the previous book concluded. While Germano is left behind in Africa, serving with the Portuguese military, Imani has been enlisted to act as the interpreter to the imprisoned Emperor of Gaza, Ngunyane. I tried it. On the long voyage to Lisbon. For the emperor and his 7 wives, it will be a journey of no return. Imani's own return will come only after a decade-long odyssey through the Portuguese Empire at the beginning of the 20th century. It's under 300 pages. Interesting. The Funeral Ladies of Ellery County. We will double check the date. Hardcover. Yep, we're good. This is by Claire Swinarski. Get rid of the pop-up. Armed with a crock pot and a pile of recipes, a grandmother, her granddaughter, and a mysterious young man work to bring a community together. Esther Larson has been cooking for funerals in the Northwoods of Wisconsin for 70 years. Known locally as the Funeral Ladies, she and her cohort have worked hard to keep the mourners of Ellery County fed. It is her firm belief that there is very little a warm casserole and a piece of cherry pie can't fix. But after falling for an internet scam that puts her home at risk, the proud Larson family matriarch is the one in need of help these days. Iris, Esther's whip-smart Gen Z granddaughter, would do anything for her family and her community. As she watches her friends and her family move out of their lakeside town onto bigger and better things, Iris wonders why she feels so left behind in the place she is desperate to make her home. But when Cooper Welsh shows up, she finally starts to feel like she's found the missing piece of her puzzle. Cooper is dealing with becoming a legal guardian to his younger half sister after his beloved stepmother dies. When their celebrity stepfather is focused on his booming career, while and top-ranked television show, Cooper is still hurting from a public tragedy he witnessed last year as a paramedic and finding it hard to cope. When Iris, with Iris in the gorgeous Ellery County, though, he hopes he might finally find the home he's been looking for. It doesn't seem like a community cookbook could possibly solve their problems, especially one where casseroles have their own section and cream of chicken soup mix is the most frequently used ingredient. But when you mix the can-do spirit of Midwestern grandmothers with the stubborn hope of a boy raised by food, plus a dash of long-awaited forgiveness, things might just turn out okay. I'm also liking this. What the heck? Let's see. Looked at that. Oop. Oh, we ran out of time. Shoot. Well, the others that are catching my attention are The Romanov Brides by Claire McHugh, The Swan's Nest by Laura McNeil. These are both being historicals. The Woman with No Name by Audrey Blake. And that's it. So a couple more. Wow. Kind of surprised and happy at the same time. That's great. There must be a word for that. That sounds fun and also inspirational in a lot of ways. Yes. All right. Gosh, where did the time go? Hope everything has been a happy. Everyone has a happy weekend. Don't drink too much green beer. Thanks. You're welcome. Um, the only green beer I'm going to be having is on Sprints tomorrow. I have found some Irish ambiance that has features green beer, which I'm not promoting drinking. It just happens to be pretty in the pictures. Kim says, "Have a great day. Hoping to sleep a couple more hours." Absolutely. Go back to bed. I have to go get some groceries, go pick up the mail, go to work. That's okay. It's a Friday. All right, guys. Thank you very, very much. And like I just mentioned, we do have not sprints tonight. No sprints on a Friday night. Thanks, PK. Granddaughter coming over today. Oh, that's gonna be so nice. How old is she? No sprints tonight. But tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern, we'll go for 5 hours. And yes, I'll be doing Irish St. Patrick's Day ambiance, and then a special creature at the end for the last half hour. Um, so I hope you are able to at least stop by. In the meantime, have a very good Friday. 3.5 going on 30. Aren't they all? Oh, that's wonderful. I hope you have a good time. You'll have to let us know. And then you can take a nap after that. I would. Hope you have a good Friday. Take care, please, of yourself. Be safe. Read good books, and if you're not reading a good book, it's okay to set it aside. It's just not the right time for it at that moment. It will come. Read things that make you happy, because reading is wonderful. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.